Phantasm.
This is Tobias from Cut Up. You're listening to FANTASM Podcast.
What's up, motherfuckers? This is Brian from Vital Remains. You're listening to FANTASM Podcast. Hail Satan.
This is Dr. Ross Stewart from Exhumed and Impaled, and you're listening to the FANTASM Podcast.
Phantasm.
What the fuck is up, gore fucks, and welcome to the Phantasm Podcast. I am Corey Gore Christ. With me to my right, as always, the MD, Dr. Vincent West.
What's going on?
And we are bare bones today, ladies and gentlemen. We are it's just us today, and we are watching a gem. What do we got?
The theatrical cut of the 3-disc edition, your 3-disc edition of Army of Darkness.
Which I haven't seen this film in a very long time. Not since I bought this. This came out, what, like last year?
It came out last year, yeah.
And
this was their big release last year.
That's from our folks at Scream Factory. They went to the fucking nines on this release. I mean, it's probably their meatiest release they've ever put out. It's got the most stuff I've ever seen probably on a Blu-ray period.
They went crazy with it.
I mean, all the features it has on it. It's got every cut made of this film, including the television version, which you said I haven't watched it on here yet, but you said actually it's not a very good print anyway.
It's
not much you can do with it.
It's pretty cool. I'm glad it's
it's great, no matter what it looks like.
But it was one of those things where it's like, since we're already watching this with the sound down, I saw no point in watching it. It's one that's actually funny to watch.
Yeah.
For anybody that has or has bought this set or is interested in buying the set, the theatrical version is just... this has made more sense, but the TV version, man, if you're sitting around having some beers, it's pretty funny listening to them edit things out.
Yeah, one of my favorites to watch like that is Die Hard. Those movies are hysterical, edited out.
Of course, my favorite, and if anyone doesn't know, this is Weird Science edited.
Yes, you showed me quite a bit of that. It's actually really funny. What was that one quote that they do that's really stupid?
Oh, well, there's so many in it, but the one that I've gotten the biggest kick out of is the beginning of it, and Anthony Michael Hall is hearing that Chet is going to be watching over them over the weekend, and in the edited version he's like, "Oh no!" and you can tell it's not him doing it. Yeah. It's just funny. But so there goes Bruce through the time portal. This is my favorite of the Evil Dead movies.
Me too. This is the one I had on VHS.
I saw it at the theater. I love Evil Dead 2.
I was 2 years old when this film came out, ladies and gentlemen. This came out in 1992.
I'm going to refrain from telling my age because
hey, this is awesome.
I still want people to think I'm relevant. But anyway, the saw this at the theater on a date, which was pretty awesome. I just love this movie. I don't know. It's just the one that I go back to every time. It's fucking awesome. It reminds me of a Ray Harryhausen feature. It's fucking awesome. Right. It's just fucking cool.
And I will say right out the gate, Scream Factory knocks the restoration out of the park. This film looks amazing. Theater ready. I mean, this looks really good.
I think now, and nothing to take away from this release, I'm pretty sure the version we're watching right now is the Screwhead edition that was already available. They just ported it.
Right. I'm not sure.
I've never read any, because it looks identical to, because I own both. It looks the exact same. If you'll look there, there's printware right there.
Yeah,
you see it.
That's cool.
No, it is. I don't have an issue with it, but they just ported it. They just threw it on the... I love that they threw everything on this release like they did the Texas 2. They ported that MGM version on disc 2 of that, but...
Right.
We'll see. So this opened October 9th, 92. Now this is very interesting. I want you to listen to this. This is interesting. This film technically did not come out in the United States until February 19th, 93.
Yeah, it was on the back burner for a while.
So it got a Euro release before it got a release here.
The marketing for this film was horrible because the censors were trying to dumb down something that wasn't offensive, but the whole Army of Darkness thing and the poster art they originally had, they were trying to like shut that down and make them clean it up, but there was nothing really wrong with it. So this film just had a lot of setbacks trying to be released after it was made.
See, to me, Sam Raimi did his best work with this film and the film before it, Darkman. I'm a huge fan of Darkman.
Yeah, this was following his success with Darkman.
Yeah, that's how Universal put this film out.
Right.
I was saying, but I realize a lot of people out there are going to say, "Oh, I like Evil Dead, and I like Evil Dead 2." But
well, of course, there's
for my money's worth, this is the one that I go back to. I don't know, it's fun. I think Bruce. This and Bubba Hotep are my favorite things he ever did.
So originally they wanted to call this The Medieval Dead is what it was. But
yeah.
He wasn't able to do it, but in the UK, he released it as Army of Darkness, The Medieval Dead.
Yeah.
Which would have been, it would have made more sense, and then you'd be like, oh, okay, so...
That's what that Euro cut is that's on here.
Because a lot of people, they don't... Of course, they know that the real fans are going to know this is the third Evil Dead film, but for people that were casual moviegoers wanted to see, it's like, is this Bruce Campbell? Is he still Ash just because, or is this some other thing? It's like, but if it was the Medieval Dead, they would have understood that a little more. And
Ted
props
Raimi and Robert Tappert are going to also be at that convention I wanted you to go to.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're both going to be there.
Damn.
And Tony Todd. Anyways, side note. Sorry, that had nothing to do with what we were talking about. I don't like the first Evil Dead film. I think it's boring, and it harkens back to where you and I used to live in Knoxville. Because of the Johnson City thing, I just don't give a shit about that film. It's not even that, it's just a bad film. It's not even bad good, it's just bad.
I think...
I just don't like it.
I understand it. A lot of people that got into horror, like, that was the film that got them into horror, period.
I don't understand.
I understand that.
I don't.
I mean, I really like Evil Dead, but is it something I'm going to, like, pull out and watch all the fucking time? No.
I just don't like it. I don't know. To me, it's there's two films. It's Evil Dead 2 and this one.
I agree. I'm more of an Evil Dead 2 Army of Darkness fan, and these were the ones I would always watch as a kid. The only one of the three I ever owned on VHS was Army of Darkness when I was young. And,
it's understandable. I mean,
this is the only one I'd watch when it came on television.
Evil Dead 2 is awesome, but
that's good.
The first film, I just can't do it, man. I don't know. It's not something that I ever went back to.
Yeah, it's
and growing up. I mean, and I saw it when it was first out on VHS, and I was like, this is terrible. It's like, can we put Texas Chainsaw Massacre back in? Because I don't want to. Which, I'm not even sure if I've ever said this on the podcast. John Carpenter's my favorite filmmaker, but my favorite horror film of all time is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Of course.
Anyway, but back to this. So Bruce is he's getting rallied by the locals here, and
he already pinpointed his future pussy.
Right, which is hilarious.
That's how he does it, Bruce is getting ready.
Something that I love about this film, and this is going to probably sound, again, I'm probably going to, offend some people with this. I'm not trying to, but this is my favorite thing that K&B Effects ever did, too.
Really?
Yeah. I like that it's not... It showed me that these guys, there's more to them than that. It also told me that they're huge Ray Harryhausen fans.
These guys made so many different creature variants, and some they never even used. But
this is a film. If you watch it, a lot of people would probably think this is a Stan Winston thing, but it was actually the K&B guys.
Right, and their studio is so full of their creatures. They actually had a really good time making all these. It was
they were huge fans of this.
It was very hard and time consuming and a pain in the ass. But I mean, they had so much material for these, and Sam Raimi would always come up to them with so many fucking ideas and. Just like crazy stuff, and he would just kind of pop out and be like, hey, I need this for this scene that I want to do, and it was very cool. I think they did a really good job with this, and it's very ambitious, and of course people wanted other sequels of this film, and the reception of this film after it came out was pretty huge, but of course they're not going to do another Army of Darkness. It'd be
Well, I mean, they sort of we're getting that Evil Dead TV show, which I love.
It is a good show.
It's on Stars,
which is actually out on home release now. So if
it is,
I believe so.
No, it's not.
Are you sure?
No, because I would have already bought it.
I think it's up for pre-order.
Sorry, I just had to nerd Corey right there.
I saw it
because it would be in my collection. Oh, it's up for order, but it's not out. I know, because I would already have that, because I actually really wanted it, because I don't know how you guys are with watching stuff on television, even Netflix. I like to sit down and put my Blu-ray in and just binge watch it. Now, that is the one good thing about Netflix. You can sit there and binge watch, and it'll be there generally. I have AT&T Uverse, and their on-demand stuff is limited, and it's kind of like, well, I'd rather just wait and buy the. Corey's looking up a release date there on it. Yeah, it's not out, or I would have it.
Oh, that doesn't come out for a while.
I didn't think so.
Comes out August 23rd, folks.
And Corey will be getting me that for my birthday.
Ash vs. Evil Dead, but if you have Stars, you can go watch it on demand. The season 1 is over.
Yeah. I don't know if they've started season 2 yet. I don't think they have.
I don't know sure if it got renewed yet or not. I don't know. Hopefully it did.
It's really good.
It's great.
I lost Stars early on, but I saw the first few episodes of it. Of course, you can rip it off the internet if you really want to.
One other thing I wanted to talk about with you real quick, the Evil Dead remake. I thought it was a pile of shit.
See, I enjoyed it a little bit. It hit in the right places as far as entertainment, but definitely not supposed to be a actual remake. It was more of just like a reboot, and I thought it was very successful.
I didn't like it.
Compared to the other films or any of the older stuff, of course, it doesn't stand tall next to them. But it's as a testament to the old stuff. I think they did a good job of it, and they didn't. Compared to the other bullshit that came out in the last few years in horror, I think that's one of the better films to come out amongst all the shitty movies that have come out. Because
I didn't. To me, it was garbage. I don't know.
All we get nowadays is Insidious and Purge sequels and Human Centipede bullshit. So, that Evil Dead one wasn't that great by itself, but compared to all the films we've gotten in the last few years, I think that was probably one of the best ones to come out in the U.S. anyway. As far as I think foreign horror movies are where it's at now.
It actually offended me that it was even made, I just don't. If this is very simple, and I'll be real clear about this. If certain things are not attached with a certain director, I'm not interested. The 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I wouldn't wipe my butt with it, or that Leatherface. And that, it's just my opinion, but I just don't like it. I think it's garbage. Gunnar Hansen is the only Leatherface. I don't like Bill Johnson either, I believe his name is.
God, he's terrible, man.
Yeah, he's a horrible. He was also a prick. He blew me off on trying to do a thing for the podcast. I just want to shout that out that you're a prick. But
we actually, watched the Texas 2, and we actually scrapped the episode. But,
yeah, because Corey and I were so angry during that episode.
That might pop up later on for fun, guys. So you might hear us just completely just go off the rails. Not at each other. We were just went on rants about different shit.
Yeah, it was kind of a polluted episode.
It was crazy, but I think part of it was just the film. I mean, the film is all right, but going back and watching it, I actually didn't really enjoy it at all.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was.
What, Texas 2?
Yeah. Bill Johnson's just horrible.
He is, and here's my thing. The only reason that I like that film, and again, I actually do like the Chop Top character. It's probably the only thing. See, I'm the reverse. The only thing that I like in the film is Dennis Hopper.
Oh, of course. I mean,
I like the Stretch lady. I think she's kind of cool, and I love the cook.
Of course. So the cook is hilarious in that film.
But I like that movie. I have to be in the mood to watch, but I will tell you this about that film. It's too long.
Yeah. It's the build-up is just kind of...
The ending's dumb.
Subpar, I don't know.
I don't understand the end of it at all. I think Tobe Hooper's a genius. But that movie... I think that movie is... It was, and I don't even think he intentionally did it, but it's become a hipster gem.
Yeah.
But I love it though. And in certain viewing elements, it's weird. Like I have to be in a mood to watch that film. Right. It's almost like you have to be drunk to enjoy it. But I tell you this, Texas 2 is definitely better than the 03 or that beginning thing. So I couldn't do those. But
if you guys are following the film, we are currently at 14 minutes and 50 seconds, and he is now fighting the Pit Witch. So, which actually scared the living dog shit out of me when I was a kid.
Here's you a fun, interesting thing. This is interesting, I think. in back to reference to the Ash vs. Evil Dead TV show, they're not allowed for legal reasons to even mention the events of Army of Darkness because Universal apparently was like, absolutely not.
Weird.
Which I don't understand. This is something else I don't understand at all. And I want to talk about Scream Factory a second. This isn't their fault. This is just some issues with studios. Warner Brothers, which I love, doesn't want to play ball with them on a lot of releases. In fact, I own, to my knowledge, the only Warner Brothers release they've ever partnered with on a Scream Factory thing, and it was in the Vincent Price Collection 2. I've never mentioned these on here. All three of the Vincent Price collections, if you consider yourself a fan of any kind of classic horror, if you don't own those, it's larceny. You should. You're missing out. Especially the first volume, which now is going for a pretty penny because
about $250.
Yeah, it's. I actually have two of those.
Basically, they cut it.
It's all the Corman stuff. It's fucking awesome that he did with
Witchfinder General and
that's my favorite.
Me too. That's my favorite.
The movie's awesome. That's the photos. If you kids follow me on Twitter.
I like House of Wax and I like Witchfinder General. Those are probably my favorites. And House on Haunted Hill is good too.
My favorite Vincent Price film is.
I mean, there's not one I don't like, and I love Mask of the Red Death too. I love that fucking film, and I love the Edgar Allan Poe short story. It's fucking awesome.
My favorite thing, I think, probably of his is probably.
Of course, that's my favorite Edgar Allan Poe thing. Is
actually, hold on, let me reference that a second. I'm going to look up and see.
But the first one went out of print because midway through they lost licensing rights or something like that.
No, Roger Corman's studio sued them.
They sued them over.
Which I'm not going to get into that on here. It's tacky, but. Actually, I will. Fuck it. I don't work for either team. Roger Corman himself didn't. It's just that the International Pictures got involved.
Yeah.
And I guess felt that, which pisses me off because Scream Factory wasn't doing anything wrong.
No.
I'm going to look this up here. My favorite film is in the first collection. I just have to find it here.
Because of that lawsuit, they stopped making,
what in the hell is this? Oh, that's a DVD set.
They stopped making prints of it, so they.
Okay, it's currently. This is the cheapest one on Amazon's $184.
Ugh. Which is down from when it was, so it's actually gone down a little.
I actually had sex with my girlfriend watching some of these movies, which is kind of cool.
Nice. Vincent Price is good for it.
Yeah, I love it.
He's got that voice, man.
I'm gonna pull up. Okay, so here you go, kids. This is. Now here you go. Now this is a straight up. One of Corey's favorites in this collection, Mask of the Red Death. I'm going to have to say that my favorite films in this set, and I'm going to go through all these here. This is the Vincent Price Collection, Volume 1. Witchfinder General, Corey and I both agree is an amazing film. Love The Fall of House of Usher.
Actually, never seen that one.
And we need to do that.
I love
the Haunted Palace is the shit, and The Pit and the Pendulum. Jesus,
I've seen that.
Actually, every film in this set is just great.
Yeah, the Dr. Phibes, that's fucking awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean all these are great, but to me, for your money, Pit and the Pendulum, Mask of the Red Death, The Haunted Palace, The Fall of House of Usher, and The Abominable Dr. Phibes, and then Witchfinder General. You cannot go wrong with this set. It is expensive. Maybe you can find it on eBay if somebody gets in a bidding war over it, if you feel tasty enough to do it. But I will say this, in my opinion, the first collection they put out is the best. It's the one I grab when I'm ready to watch one of these. However, Vincent Price movies, to me, they're more relaxing for me. I like to put them in when I go to sleep.
Sure.
But anyway, but yeah. And then I'm going to look at since I've never really talked about these, kind of doing a past review on them since we weren't doing podcasts then. But
of course,
Volume 2 has got one of Corey's favorite in it, which has House on Haunted Hill, which was what I was mentioning earlier. That is the only film that Warner Brothers has ever given to Scream Factory to put out as a release.
It's weird.
And I'm assuming it's because... I also will tell you this, guys, if you're going to get this Volume 2, you may want to go ahead and get it, because I'm sure this is going to shit the bed eventually. I don't see this staying in print.
The second one?
No, I don't.
And it's going for about $60 right now, ballpark, on eBay. And then the Vincent Price 3, you need to go ahead and pick that up too. It's still available right now on Shout Factory, but I would go ahead and grab that as well if you want it.
Does Scream Factory's website still sell Volume 2 on there?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Okay, so I'm looking at these are the films.
But the third one has Telltale Heart, Cask of Amontillado, The Pit and the Pendulum, which is awesome. And
what?
The third set.
Why is that in there again?
I don't know. That's what it says.
That can't be right. That's in the first set. The hell? All right, Corey's just absolutely floored me now because there's something in that set that I already own. They put it in there twice. That's odd. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Anyway, I'm going to talk about the second set while he looks at that. We got House on Haunted Hill, which Corey loves, which is great. Return of the Fly. The Comedy of Terrors. Comedy of Terrors is not very good, in my opinion.
Never seen it.
It's like black comedy in a Vincent Price horror film. I just don't really like it. But
weird.
The Raven I love. The Last Man on Earth I love. Tomb of Ligia I love. And Dr. Phoebes Rises Again obviously is fantastic. And then let's look at this Volume 3 set. I have this and I've never opened it because I'm a nerd. Because it's Vincent Price. And I don't like to open my Vincent Price stuff until I'm ready to watch it because I'm a nerd. Let's see here. So this one came out back in February. I got butt fucked on it when I ordered it because nobody wanted to give me my film. Master of the World. Now I'm going to tell you guys something here. This set has got some really interesting stuff in it. And I'll tell you what. To go back to something Corey said earlier, as Bruce Campbell fights the witch that says you shall die. This set has got some really interesting films in it. Why is that not telling me what's on this?
I think what I was looking at, the dude fucked it up because it wasn't any of the
What a shock, everybody. There was a dipshit on Amazon. I'm about to say because it's not in that set. Anyway,
this one has Tower
the
of
Vincent
London,
Price
Diary
sets are
of
great.
Madman.
I highly recommend them. Corey bought me all three of mine, even though we didn't know each other. I've been selling. He didn't buy those. I did, but I actually was looking last night. I actually have the poster for the first two where I pre-ordered it, where I had to have it early. I should have probably done it with the third one because I got, again, I'm not going to get into that, but I got screwed on when I ordered it. Let's see. I hate to touch on the next thing I'm going to touch on, but I promised myself I would actually do it. We did an interview with the drummer for Cut Up and Vomitory. I'm not even going to mention his name because apparently when it's pronounced out of my mouth, it doesn't suit the ears of certain people. Well, I just want to say fuck you. I've been listening to Vomitory for about 20 years, so don't really owe you an explanation on how I say his name. I'm Canadian. I also live in North America. I don't live in Europe. So his name is pronounced Tobias in the English language. That's pretty much all I got to say on that. Thank you for the people that did enjoy it and listen to it. We tried, If you have to critique it or something like that, do me a favor and just fuck off. I don't really... Corey and I don't have time to, we don't have time to deal with that. We've got stuff we're doing. We're not getting paid to do this. And I don't think I'm flipping out. I think I'm being pretty mellow about it. Corey, do you want to please carry with that so I don't say anything I'm going to regret?
Now, originally we did have maybe one or two people nitpick and say some things, which, is fine, but I don't know. All I really have to say is we're the one doing this stuff, and Tobias himself said that it's he appreciated us because we knew what we were talking about, and we were huge fans of this whole thing. And obviously that means a lot of people that interview him or have talked to him before that have probably called him just Toby because they don't want to mess with it, or Toast Crunch. I don't know what the fuck they called him, but you know.
I mean, bottom line,
he basically endorsed us by saying we know what we're talking about. So, on that note, if you have any questions, you can just talk to the man himself about it. Because we do these things because we're huge fans and we own this stuff. We fucking have physical copies of their shit.
Right, we didn't illegally download it. We didn't steal it. And the other thing is, if you're so goddamn great, I don't know who gave you that you're the authority on vomitory or cut up, because I seriously doubt it, since we had the authority on the show. So he's happy with it. And again, in closing with that, I mean, that's all I've got to say about it. It really pissed me off, though. It's like, if you have nothing better to do than sit around and troll people's pages and run your fucking mouth, go to a sports site and do that, because we don't have time for that shit.
Yeah.
Corey works fucking 7 days a week. I'm out doing stuff and trying to do stuff for the podcast. But my brother here, he does everything that he can to fucking keep this thing going. He does all the behind the scenes stuff. I'm going to give a round to him right here, because I love him. But you be a little bit more appreciative. If you enjoy it, then if there's something wrong with it, don't comment. It's just just learn to.
Honestly, if you want to.
Well, what's the out of Ford Fairlane? We use this, and this is all I'm going to say. I'm going to let Corey finish it, but I'm going to say this real quick. If you don't have anything nice to say about it, then make sure we're out of the goddamn room. In other words, don't leave a fucking comment.
I mean, look, if you really want to be negative about it, then go ahead, take a shot. But you guys aren't the ones doing this and working your ass off trying to get all this content. We're doing this for fans like us that want to hear it, that don't have the extra time to nitpick. They're here to. We're here to bring this out to the world and our passion for horror and death metal. So the only people that we want to interact with us outside of the show are people that genuinely respect and appreciate what we do.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not people that are trolls on the internet that just want to laugh and make fun of it. Which, if you're going to do that, I don't care. You guys aren't the ones doing this. We're the ones doing it. So I understand that.
Yeah, but they don't have the right to critique.
You don't have an outlet to do any of this stuff on because you're not, you're not smart, or you just don't have time, or you're an idiot. I don't know. I make time for this and I work every day. So
we both put a lot of time into this, and we do it for people that want to listen to it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be something for you to enjoy. It's not supposed to be out there. It's not art. I'm not doing it to have it critiqued.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Not everything is going to be. If you don't like
it, then don't listen to it. But I don't want you trolling a fucking page and trying to ruin something we're trying to do.
I like to think that everything we say and do is not necessarily our opinions on things, because those are opinions, but as far as the people when we talk to them and the stuff we bring up in these movies, they're all fact. They're all factual information. We're not bringing you any false information, no matter how we pronounce somebody's name, if that's maybe off or not.
Well, I mean, he
it's
even
not
said
something
you should bring this up. He even told me. Actually, I'm gonna read it to everybody. It's right here. This is from Tobias, because I'm English. I'm not from wherever. I don't tell you all how to, because I'm not going to try to nitpick here, but, I've heard a lot of foreigners say a lot of American artists' names wrong, but, I'll get right to it here. This is right out of his mouth.
I mean, it's not even a thing to worry about, and that's why it just kind of seemed, some people were like, they pronounce it wrong, but I loved the episode, blah, blah. That's fine, but still, why do you even need to add the first thing in there? Did it really...
Do you want to read that, or you want me to?
Did it really ruin...
That one right there.
Did it really ruin the episode for you that we said Tobias maybe once or twice in the episode? The whole thing, so... But from him himself, he said, isn't that the correct way in English? In Swedish, it's pronounced a bit different, but hey, we're speaking English to each other, so I have absolutely zero problems with that.
There you go.
Yeah, so...
and
that's from Tobias himself. So, for any of you that are from Sweden or whatever, and you guys have your way of pronouncing it.
Oh, and I want to...
That's fine if you want to...
Corey, if you would read that one last gray one there for them. This is also from Tobias.
He said the interview was killer. Anyone who laughs at that is an idiot.
So there you go.
Idiots.
Eat a dick.
If you have any qualms with that, just talk to Tobias himself. And
no, don't bother him. Actually, you're just fucking stupid.
Well, it's
again, go troll somebody else's page. Go troll, something I hate. Go troll, Summer Slaughter or Maryland Death Fest. Go troll something that I don't give a shit about. But leave me the fuck alone. I don't need it. When Corey told me about it, it fucking pissed me off. So, don't want to deal with it. Just keep your fucking mouth shut. I don't even want you listening to the fucking podcast if you're gonna be a fucking dick. Just stay the fuck away from it. We put a lot of time. I work late hours on this. Corey works his ass off and a regular fucking job doing this. We don't have time for it. And I got away from the film this, but I'm actually glad that we did this. I wanted to take a minute and say, we're trying to provide something here for other fans. We're not providing for trolls.
Yeah, and it's, we'll end on that. It's just...
Yeah.
If you want to be nitpicky about something, you can go look it up. Or you can simply, something as small as that didn't need to be said. So just keep that in mind. Just don't even say anything if you don't like the episode. Just quit listening to us and move on and listen to some other fucking podcast, whatever.
Yeah, go listen to that fucking... What's that guy that we both hate? The Nerdist. Go listen to that piece of shit.
Oh, Chris Hardwick.
Yeah, he needs to die in a fucking car wreck. That guy sucks.
He's dressed
go listen to that fucking piece of shit.
He dresses like a out of the closet Ichabod Crane or something.
Yeah, the guy's a fucking... He's like, I'm a nerd. It's like, what, because you
like Star Wars and The Walking Dead?
It's like, yeah.
Congratulations, like every other fat fucking 50-year-old dude I've ever met in my life. Like, I like Walking Dead and Star Wars. Like, oh, wow, I've never met someone like you before. You need a fucking...
But again, just remember, if the doctor gets angry, then you... And that'll take care of that.
It's a special medical weapon known as the chainsaw. And speaking of chainsaws, we're at the scene now where we have the evil Ash formed.
It's like the universal classic horror homage by Sam. He's kind of doing the...
It's the Jekyll and Hyde thing.
Yeah, he's doing the wolf in the moonlight, or the creature coming out of the water.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's fucking awesome.
And it's evil Ash has formed. He's two-headed, and now they split.
I love evil Ash.
So fucking
He's fucking hilarious.
Me too. It's great. You got the little... this is why I love this movie. It's because it's more...
I'm bad Ash. You're good Ash. You're goody little two shoes.
It's more, slapstick, goofball humor from Sam Raimi that we love. Which wasn't in the Spider-Man films. Anyway.
I'm not even touching that.
Now, did you like Drag Me to Hell? Did you like that film?
No.
No?
No, I don't hate it. I just didn't like it.
There was some stuff I liked about it, but most of it it's pretty long and drawn out.
I don't know. I don't find myself going back to any modern horror film.
Good, bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't find myself going back to any of that stuff.
We're at 33:53 on time, folks. So he's about to bury Evil Ash to where, of course, he will come back and control the Deadite army later, which is awesome. He's got a...
I love this. I love where he's using, the doctor's weapon of choice.
Yeah, it's the chainsaw. He's got to cut him up into little pieces. Of course, that's never worked in a horror film. Why is cutting someone up in a million pieces never worked?
On a side note to the bad people in there, for the people that have liked it and are actually coming around and checking out what we're doing, thank you. If I don't say it, thank you. I appreciate it. Corey appreciates it.
Of course.
We don't do all this. We do this because we care about it and we love it, but the fact if we're reaching one person means a lot to me, that somebody out there enjoys it. I don't know if they do or not. Nobody ever tells me they enjoy it. But if you do, that's fucking fantastic. That's why it makes us feel like we did something right at the end of the day, I guess. So, unlike, what's that? You got dirt on your face? It's great. It's such a great movie. But I there's a lot of people that don't like this film. I've met a lot of people
really
that don't
stupid.
like it.
They probably like the first film. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of. Well, I get that with a lot of, and I think that's one of my.
I think a lot of people look up how to be a typical horror douche on YouTube, and they just watch like 10 films that some kid in his parents' living room posted on,
Right.
and that's what you have to like. It's it's like, look, I understand. Same thing with metal. It's like you have to like Metallica, and you have to like Pantera, and you have to like Slayer. Look, if I understand those are all essentials and those are all great, but if you don't like it, then don't fucking like it. You don't have to like anything people in society tells you to like. So if you don't like Evil Dead, then you're not going to be an asshole for not liking it. Of course, people are going to be like, what? Why? It's like, because I don't like that film. There's difference of opinions here. So I understand it's an essential, and me and the doctor both own Evil Dead. We're not that, of course we own it. It's an essential. But
I don't own it. I don't like it. But
you don't own Evil Dead at all?
No, I don't like it.
Huh.
Not a fan. Like I said earlier, I'm not a fan of it. I own the second one and this one. I don't. I don't say the stuff I say to pull punches with people. I'm very blunt about what I'm into. I grew up when these films came out. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. That's it.
Right.
It's not going to change overnight. I actually show Corey this real quick, and it's not an occasional thing. And then I've got this as well. This is, of course, I love.
Yeah. The Snake Plissken.
Yeah.
But,
it's... Well, there you go, actually. I'll talk about that real quick. Escape from New York. It's one of my favorite movies ever made. Escape from L.A., I don't even own it.
You don't like that one?
No, I don't.
I
do like Bruce Campbell's cameo in that film as a sadistic plastic surgeon. I thought that was awesome.
That is pretty cool.
But, no, it's just bad. It's just a bad movie. I mean, that's after John's prime, as far as I'm concerned. I'm very picky about that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even own it. And I've seen it really cheap before, and I'm like, I don't want this. Paramount just threw it out bare bones too. It doesn't even look good, but yeah, I don't know what it is. A lot of people just seem to like everything that comes out. I'm not like that. I don't know.
Right.
I don't operate that way.
Of course, this part with Ash's face is very Looney Tunes.
I love the whole innocent.
Yeah.
He's like, whoa.
Wrong book. It's just good shit. I don't know how anyone can't like this film. I mean, I understand why people won't like Evil Dead, but I also understand why people feel like they have to like it. But, like what you like. Don't listen to what other people fucking say, and just like what you like. Don't worry about other people's opinions.
When I met Bruce Campbell, I told him I didn't like the first Evil Dead.
Oh, he probably didn't like it either.
He asked me what my favorite things were that he did. Now, again, I'm going to go on record with this, and I told him this to his face. I told him Army of Darkness and Bubba Hotep. Those are my favorite two things that he ever did. Waiting for an Arrow/Scream Factory release of Bubba Hotep. Would love that on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It's a great film. But if you've never seen it, check it out. It's great.
It's Don Coscarelli.
Yeah,
it's a badass film.
It's actually, honestly, and I'm going to get a lot of shit for this, it's my favorite thing he ever did, too.
It's great. No, it's a good film.
I think, and that's nothing against the Phantasm. Phantasm, to me, as a whole, is amazing. But I just really think, outside of Phantasm, Bubba Hotep is his little gem.
I agree. And it's
if you like Bruce Campbell, if you've never seen it, you're really missing out. It's a great film. It's kind of a horror film.
Who doesn't want to see Bruce as Elvis?
Yeah, and that's the great part about that film. A lot of people still think he's an impersonator. It's like that's kind of open for interpretation. To me, he's Elvis.
Yeah.
Because he swapped with the other guy. I remember he's doing a whole... I love that. He's like, so there I am at this county fair, and everybody thinks... But I really am Elvis. Then I threw out my hip, and he flies off that thing into the crowd. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's a very ambitious thing, and it had that mummy or whatever, so it's still a horror movie, kind of.
If I've ever told you this, I actually got that in the theaters when I still lived in Knoxville.
Really?
I actually knew a guy at Regal, and he brought it, and the film actually made a lot of money at Downtown West. Like, they were having record crowds going to see it. You know, not like a Star Wars crowd, but there were a lot of people going. There's people like Bruce Campbell, I think, in general.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was pretty awesome.
I've actually met Don.
Yeah, talk about that.
And this was in Chattanooga. This is my first convention I had ever went to. And they had a Phantasm reunion, which is the whole reason me and the guys I was with at the time went. And there wasn't a lot of people. You know, David Naughton was there from American Werewolf in London. The director and the Leatherface from the third Leatherface film was there, R.A. Mellenhoff. Hope I'm saying your name correctly. I believe I am. And the director, can't think of his fucking name off the top of my head. Something Burr. I can't remember. Jeff Burr. Thank you. Great guys. The first Q&A panel I ever went to was theirs on Leatherface, and it was awesome. They're super goofy guys, you know, together. They have really good chemistry. Just by themselves is really funny. So props to those guys for being my first Q&A I ever went to. I really enjoyed it. So thank you to R.A. and to Jeff. That was an amazing quick Q&A you guys did. Anyway, so I met Don. Michael A. Baldwin was there. Angus was there. And Reggie was there. And Don was, you know, just such a humble guy. This was before John Dies at the End came out, so he was kind of, you know, repping that. He was talking about it, which I loved that film as well. Probably my least favorite of his films he's put out, but I
What's that?
John Dies at the End.
Yeah,
but I did really like it.
I couldn't get into it.
But I talked to him about Bubba Hotep. You know, I didn't really have time to ask him too much about it. I was just like, you know, a lot of people just haven't seen Bubba Hotep or don't know about it, but I always do recommend it because I really, really enjoyed it. It's just a funny film. It's the mummy looks really fucking cool, and I'm into that mummy shit too. I thought it was a weird element to add to it, and it was pretty awesome. I enjoyed it. So he was a very cool guy, and he, you know, told me he appreciated that, and he told me to be on the lookout for John Dies at the End when it came out, and I ended up seeing it at the Horror Film Fest in Knoxville at the time, and it was pretty awesome. And Don did like a special message thing before that film, and I really enjoyed it. It's a hard movie to swallow. You have to really watch it from beginning to end to know what's going on. It's one of those films, so you kind of have to really pay attention. You know, which it's not a film I watch all the time because of that. You know, I don't like to invest all my time into watching a film. You know, with a horror movie, I can look up, be like, oh, this shit's happening. You know, like right now, Evil Ash just rose from the grave, and he looks like a fucking butthole, like a straight up gaped ass with shit on it. I don't know. He looks
pretty bitchin', man.
He looks crazy. Yeah. So he's resurrected, and you know. It's, you know, Dom is really cool. And Reggie, if you've never met Reggie Bannister before, he's Reggie from Phantasm films. It's who he is.
It's awesome.
That character is based off of him himself, because he's the same person. You know, he's also a traveling blues musician and all this. He's not an actual ice cream vendor. That's not true. But, I mean, maybe he was at one point. I don't know. I didn't ask. But he's just a laid back fucking super chill dude, just like the films. It's pretty crazy. I was like, Reggie, you want to go to the cemetery and kill the tall man? You know, it would have been pretty awesome. And Angus, of course, was
Were there a lot of people meeting them?
Oh yeah, that's the whole draw to that convention was, you know, that Phantasm reunion, because they've only done maybe 2 of them before
That's awesome.
So you know, I got my. It looks like a family picture of me and that whole group. It's pretty funny.
You showed it to me.
It looks like they're my family. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And Angus was such a nice guy. He's just, it's very different. Like, I've never met a person like him. I don't think I ever will again either. You can just, his presence had a special feeling to it. It's hard to describe, but, you know, I told him, I was like, thanks for scaring the living fuck out of me, because you did when I was younger. But, you know, always had a soft spot for the tall man, but he did kind of creep me out just because he's, you know, he actually is tall as shit and gangly. You know, kind of people like that kind of freak me out. But that scene where he's across the street and he's like smelling the fear, you know, that part always freaked me out a little bit. I was like, ugh. It wasn't like a creepy pedophile vibe, but it was just like you knew he was something out of this world, and he could like smell the fear. And I was like, ugh. Kind of creeped me out. I feel like he was smelling me at the same time, smelling my fear from the television. But yeah, that was a good experience. And Don, if you ever hear any of this stuff, please make the motions to get Bubba Hotep out on Blu-ray. Thank you.
I'm actually, like I said, I'm surprised Arrow or Scream Factory hasn't put that out. It's an MGM title. Both of them have relationships with MGM, but
all right.
I know there's a high-def copy of it because I've seen it on MGM HD, which, if you guys have cable, that's a great channel. Other than the commercials, they have commercial breaks in it, but not like commercial breaks like when you're watching regular television, but they have like what they call an intermission. It says intermission. You go take a piss or what's kind of
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You can go grab another cold one or...
Yep.
You know, jerk off or something.
I love all those, actually. Those are some of my favorite things. Sony Movies HD, MGM HD, and HDNet movies on cable. I love those, all three of those channels.
Speaking of Sony, we are, well, now it's Sony. That we're going to go see Ghostbusters here in a little bit.
Yep, we are.
Putting it back on the big screen today.
1984, and...
June 8th, today is the anniversary, so... going to be doing that.
I'm sure you're excited about that.
Always excited. I see it every year. It comes in theaters again. I wasn't old enough to see it. I mean, I wasn't even born yet when it originally came out, but you know what? I've seen it in theaters probably more times than a lot of people did in the 80s, so I've seen it. This will be my third time going, I think, seeing it, the original film. So
I saw it with you, I guess last time it was in the theater a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
2014.
Right.
So
now we got this fucking imp demon flying around, which is very fucking crazy makeup. This
I love it.
Scared me too. It's just
this movie's just great, man. I don't know why it's so good. It's just really good. You know, it's
campy. It's different. It's the medieval horror.
Well, for me, it's like a Saturday matinee film.
Yeah, and you know,
it's an escape. It's complete escapism.
Nobody did the medieval horror stuff like this. It was just because you know he goes back in time and it's still Bruce and it's fucking awesome. It's modern. It's the modern thing.
I'll say this.
Modern take on the medieval world, and it's pretty fucking funny, you know.
This movie's definitely, and I'm not placing it in there, but it's definitely in my top 100 films of all time. Like, I just really like it. Top 100. I'm not going to place it anywhere.
And that's all films.
Yeah, I just really like it.
I'd put it in the top 50 of my favorites. All time.
I'm not going to go that far with it, but it would be somewhere in my top 100. Just because I've got my... arms and too many other things. Speaking of which, I'm going to plug this, and I shouldn't on the show, but I'm going to.
I think I know what it might be.
The other night, Monday night, going into Tuesday morning, I went out and bought Star Trek II Wrath of Khan.
I knew it, yeah.
Director's Cut.
I was going to say, I was hoping for a plug.
If you guys are even remotely a fan of science fiction, it's arguably the best Star Trek film ever made. The director's cut of it.
It's what got me into watching the show.
Here's what's great. The Blu-ray, you have the option of watching either.
That's good.
And the cheapest place I've seen it, because it's expensive everywhere I've seen it, Walmart has it for $15.
On Blu-ray.
$15.
Damn.
So I picked that up. And a funny story, I probably shouldn't be saying this on here, but I'm going to say it. When I went to buy it, because I was buying other stuff, they didn't charge me for it.
Wow.
So I felt like it was a little hat tip from Leonard and DeForest to old Scott for being a fan for so many years.
He's got it for free.
I'm not even joking.
Star Trek's free.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have I'm gonna get to meet Bill here in a couple of weeks with Corey, so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, the Shat Man is coming to town, and along with some other greats, not really any horror people, but William fucking Shatner. You can't beat that, so that should be fun. I'm upset because Annie Potts canceled, but that's another story.
Did they? It said personal reasons.
Yeah,
maybe there's something.
Well, to Annie Potts, I know you probably have no interest in the podcast, but being as Ghostbusters is my life as it is yours, I hope everything's all good and well, and that our condolences to whatever's going on.
Hi, I'm Whoopi Goldberg, and we're in New York City
sorry.
tonight for a very
My
special
YouTube
occasion. The house
Not supposed to be
specialist-
playing. I was trying to show Corey something, but
Welcome, Whoopi Goldberg. How you doing?
I want actually people to hear this. Actually, if it's okay.
Yeah.
This is why I love Bill. I want to show this to Corey because it's actually referring. If anybody's ever seen Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, this is a Captain Summit thing that they did with Jonathan Frakes, Patrick Stewart, Leonard Nimoy, and Bill Shatner. Now, what's so goddamn funny about this? I'm actually about to show it and let Corey see this.
But to all intents and purposes, you were through, done.
Watch this. Here,
you held that
take it.
position even with me.
But you have to. Sorry,
knowing that I would never reveal that position. But was it a negotiating position so that you would be able to direct 3, or did you not think of that?
That's him and Leonard.
At that time? Yes. No. Well, even something. Well, remember. No, what are you going to say? I don't want to say remember. I'm dying. I'm dead. I'm dying. Why would I say remember? No, remember what?
No, I had no plan in mind. Seriously, I had no plan in mind. When the film opened...
I can't believe that.
He
gets on his knees because he says, get on your knees. I'll get on my knees, but I don't know how to motivate it, but I'm on my knees. You got to do the producer. Say remember. Remember.
Listen to me carefully.
Yes.
Pay attention. The film opened...
Bill is just...
very well received. And about 5 or 6 days after it opened, I got a call to come to Paramount to talk about the next movie. And I said to my agent, what should we ask for? Obviously they want me and they need me, and I'll get good money, but let's try to broaden the career. He said, right, what do you have in mind? I said, what do you think they would say if I told them I wanted to direct the film? He said, I think that's a great idea. And that's the way it happened. And this was en route to the meeting. And I walked into the producer's office, and he said, we'd like to know if you'd like to be involved in the making of the next Star Trek movie. I said, yeah, and I'd like to direct it. He said, oh, that's an interesting idea. Let's have a walk down the hall to Mr. Eisner. And that's the way it all started.
I'm just going to make one more shot at it, and then you got to tell
Bill's flipping out here. Some reason I'm playing. It's just fun.
Here's the thing. Here's what I don't understand. Here's what I don't understand. Jonathan Frakes, wonderful actor.
Yeah.
The director says, can you motivate getting on your knees? Sure. Okay?
I mean, Patrick and they're dying.
What's he going to do on his knees? How do you motivate that? The producer comes in and says, Leonard, you're dying, you're dead, you're gone. It's the end of 2, and can you say remember? Oh, sure, I can say remember. Every actor knows. Well, what do you mean? What do I feel? What am I saying? Why am I kneeling?
Anyway, William Shatner is fucking hilarious. I'm super excited to meet him. I've liked him since before I could crawl.
Right.
Get off subject there, but anyway, the Blu-ray of that is easily the coolest thing I've bought in a long time.
And to say why Star Trek, well, if you look at most titles we've watched so far, probably most of the titles you have at home, there's a Star Trek guy in there somewhere doing the special effects or writing. Excuse me.
Or
Danke. Or for some reason in all these horror films, there's somebody prominent from Star Trek that has worked on these. So they go hand in hand. I don't know what the correlation is, but there is a definitive correlation between Star Trek and horror movies because it's always very apparent that there's somebody majorly involved with all that.
The reason I played that was Bill confronting Leonard about... Leonard claims to didn't know that when they killed him in Star Trek II that they were going to bring him back, which I think is bullshit too. And Bill just basically calls him out in the middle of that interview. The funny part of that, if you guys want to watch that, is it's called, just look up Captain Summit on YouTube. But what's funny about it is watching Patrick Stewart and Jonathan Frakes over there hee-hawing, about peeing themselves laughing because Bill's just like, come on, he's fucking funny. But, it's great. But that Blu-ray, man, I saw that. I was like, fuck yeah. Because that damn thing's like $22 online.
Right.
So I felt like I got a good deal on it.
Yeah.
Of course, I haven't even opened it. But I was looking at the back of it. I was like, "It's freaking awesome." 50 years of Star Trek this year too, so I'm pretty happy to still be alive, especially since I've been around for a lot of it. But anyway, we won't go into that. But here's the Deadites. I fucking love the Harryhausen claymation that they did for this. I think they knocked it out of the goddamn planet. I love it. I think it's why I like this movie so much. Obviously Bruce Campbell, but not a big Sam Raimi fan, but I think this movie to me it's just outstanding. There's so many things that I love about it. Like I said, it's more of a Saturday morning matinee thing for me, like when I would watch B movies on Saturday morning as a kid after cartoons went off.
Sure.
Cartoons were things that used to come on Saturday morning that they don't show anymore. But,
not good ones anymore.
But yeah, I'll tell you something I don't know about this. Maybe you can find this here, because I think that people might be interested on this. Where the hell did they shoot this film? Was it shot on the lot at Universal?
I think part of it was because they...
Can we find that?
Yeah, I do.
My phone just bit the dust.
Well, we just saw our first look at Bill Moseley in the film.
See, I never knew that.
That's him right there riding with the...
I never fucking knew that. That's so weird.
He's like the Deadeye commander or whatever.
I mean, it's awesome, but I never knew that.
And of course, the general being Evil Ash. I didn't know that either till I watched some special.
I really didn't. And, I want to say something else, too. Again, this may offend some people. I'm more of the mindset that Robert Tappert is the genius behind Sam Raimi.
That's very true.
Because I've noticed if his name's not attached to it, it tends to be something I'm not really crazy about. I was a big fan of Hercules and Xena, which Robert did.
The Army of Darkness is filmed in Bronson Canyon and Vasquez Rocks Natural Area Park, and the interior shots were in an Intravision stage in Hollywood.
It's on the Universal lot.
Right. So yeah, there you go.
Another side note, I wanted to plug this real quick for Bruce Campbell. It's one of my favorite things that he ever did. He did a television show called Jack of All Trades.
Huh.
It's fucking awesome. It's another Robert Tappert, Sam Raimi.
He was also on
thing, and it's really good. Jack of All Trades, Universal Home Video.
He's also on a show called Burn Notice, which I didn't like, but I liked him on the show.
I have a TV movie with just him in it called The Rise and Fall of Sam Axe or Sam Ash or whatever the hell his name was on that show.
Right. And then there's of course, what was the other thing he did? There's that Alien Apocalypse movie or whatever it was.
Never saw it.
He did on Sci-Fi.
Never saw it.
It was really funny. He's like an astronaut or whatever.
That sounds awesome.
I mean, it's like a C movie, but
sure. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, and Scream Factory has announced, of course, The Thing is going to be coming out. It's an anniversary for that, and been waiting for that for a long time. Of course, they do have a release of it on Blu-ray, but this is the real deal, folks. This is the total package, as I like to call it. So they just today released the details on the Blu-ray release and what it's coming with. So let's do this thing.
I'm dying.
It comes out September 20th, 2016, and it's got a 2K restoration, and it was supervised by Dean Cundy.
Oh, shit.
There's a new soundtrack mix to it.
Oh, shit.
There's a bunch of new interviews and outtakes. Let's see. It's called Men of Outpost 31. It's got interviews with Keith David, Peter Maloney, Thomas Waits. Fucking awesome. It's got new behind-the-scenes interviews. It's got visual effects artists, Peter Curran and Susan Turner on there, and Rob Berman and Brian Wade. And it's got new interviews with the sound supervisors, and also Alan Hallworth has a interview on there as well, which is fucking the goddamn king.
Well, that we should mention that actually real quick. He did some stuff on there, but Morricone did the majority of the music in that film, which is, if y'all don't know who that is, he did The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is the greatest Western ever made. Right. And in my opinion, that movie is definitely in my top 100 of all time, period. That movie's amazing.
Of course. But of course, I think this is from the other, this is just ported stuff, but the Terror Takes Shape documentary on the making of the film. Well, you know what? Now, that stuff was on the DVD release. Y'all should hear this, but it was not on the fucking Blu-ray release. The Blu-ray release is bare bones, and it has this stupid pop-up feature thing. Yeah, it does say standard definition on all these, so these are all ported.
It's okay. At least they put it on.
No. This is what I love about Scream Factory. This is what I love about Scream Factory. They make sure to get every fucking thing they can possibly pack into a release on the release. So, I appreciate that. If they don't all, I don't expect everything to be in HD or Blu-ray. It's like the film is in Blu-ray. It's newly restored. They restored the sound mix, which I love Scream Factory for doing. They always do a great job with making the sound perfect as best it can be. And, them porting all the features from all the other releases just makes their release the must-have, because they don't leave anything out of their releases, and I really enjoy that. And so yeah, be on the lookout on the 20th. And okay, so here's some more information. You can go pre-order it as we speak. The street date is September 20th. And of course, on the screen here, we got the fucking car, which is a very very awesome Mad Max style, just chopper car. It's fucking awesome. I love this part of this movie. It's probably my favorite part. But here we go. We got the standard offer. It's got the collector's edition with the slipcase, and then it's got the limited edition poster that comes with the majority of their releases. And the deluxe edition, this is limited to 1,500, and it's got the collector's edition with the slipcover. It's got the the poster that comes with it, and I guess it's one of those things they did. It's got another slipcase with another artwork, like they did with the Return of the Living Dead thing. So not sure what that artwork looks like. Okay, it's got a picture right here. I'm about to find out. Okay, that's the new artwork. It's pretty cool. It's got Kurt Russell on the front.
McCready.
It's different. It looks pretty cool. I actually like that. It looks older, with that artwork. And then that's the other artwork for
Nice.
it. I actually like the other artwork better, honestly. I think that's really cool. It's another, I don't know if it's the same guy that did the additional artwork for the Return of the Living Dead, but that sold out really fast. So, don't know if by the time this episode comes out that this will still be available. So hopefully by the time you're hearing this, you would have already found out about this and pre-ordered your copy, or definitely just get this rolling and go ahead and pre-order your copy, whichever one.
What the hell's the deal on it? I want to know.
I'm looking.
I have to have that.
The deluxe limited is $35.
Oh yeah, they can have my money.
And then the standard is $25. So, get the additional artwork. It comes with a secondary slipcase. It comes with another artwork.
Does it say, is that exclusive through their site, the deluxe one? Okay, then I need to order that.
It's just like the Return of the Living Dead. That Return of the Living Dead one sold out the day it got put out, the additional artwork. So, if you guys want that, definitely go pre-order it. And of course, I don't know how many times Ted Raimi has died in this film already. He dies 3 times in this film.
He's pretty awesome.
They're all 3 separate characters, but they're all Ted, and he dies.
Here's a fun side note for fans of this movie out there. I have met Henry.
Really?
Yes. I met him at a Fangoria convention.
Wow.
I met him and Robert Tappert.
Awesome.
They were there hanging out. And what was cool was they were both like free signers.
Wow. That's pretty awesome.
Because I had like the Primo badge or whatever. What?
It's 118.
Oh, I think we'll be okay. What's left of this here? Where are we at? there's not much of this left.
Got 20 minutes. Now we get the duel, the final duel between Evil Ash.
I love even the way they did the human skeletons. I think they look awesome.
And Ash. Oh yeah, those are great.
I have a friend. I haven't talked to him in a long time. He's one of these.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
He's a stuntman out in California. His name's Brian. I've lost contact with him. So, Brian, if you're out there, if you've tracked this down and somehow could tell my voice as Dr. Vincent West, because I will never reveal my true identity. Or is this my true identity? But anyway. Yeah, he's one of the somebody down there fighting dressed as a skeleton.
Huh.
It's kind of funny. But he grew up in California. I think he's been in a ton of pictures. It's like a, just kind of like, I guess, as an extra. I guess he just enjoys doing it. I would love to do shit like that. I think it's fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
I wanted to do some stuff like that when I was living in Atlanta, and it was always shit. It was never anything that I didn't want to be an extra in ATL, the movie,
Yeah.
Not that I was living there when that came out, but, just shit like that. It's just not my thing, Now they shoot everything in Atlanta. When I was growing up, they didn't shoot a damn thing down there.
Huh. City got bigger all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Now it's really fucking big.
I love it. I know a lot of people don't like it down there, but I grew up down there, so I always have a soft spot for it. Not sports team wise, just the city, I just like the city. I don't like the sports teams there, but I didn't have anything against the Thrashers, honestly, but as far as basketball, football, or any of that stuff, I don't give a shit.
Now the Thrashers used to play at the Phillips Arena?
Yes, that's correct.
Nice.
And Atlanta will never have another pro hockey team. They've lost 2. They had the Flames, then they moved them to Calgary. They had the Thrashers, and they moved them to Winnipeg. So
both went to Canada.
Yep. It's kind of funny. But so we got Ash doing the duel here with some skeletons and Evil Ash, which I think Evil Ash is fucking awesome.
I used to have the Movie Maniacs figure of Evil Ash.
I found one a while back, and I sold it. I got a lot of money for it.
I used to have it. I left it with somebody or a yard sale that I don't remember what happened to my figure, but I did used to have him. I had him, and I had the Pumpkinhead.
Nice.
Which was pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
Pumpkinhead also. I had when I moved, I left a lot of shit behind, or I gave it to my friend's brother, or his younger brother or something, And he lights his face on fire. It's fucking great. And he's gonna do the Indiana Jones right here and fucking Tarzan his ass off the castle there.
You want to hear something else cool? When I met Henry, which I don't know the actor's name, but when I met him and Robert Tappert, they had the Book of the Dead with them.
Really?
Yeah. One of the Book of the Deads, I'm not really sure. Pretty sure it was from this film.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. Because Robert was joking with me about it. He could tear my arm off if I touched it too much. It was just funny.
That was funny.
But there was nothing to it. It was just a prop. It was cool to sit there and look at it. He actually let me look at it, which I thought was funny because a lot of people tried to look at it and he was like, no. Probably knew I wasn't a fucking chode. Yeah, this is it right here, man. This is the payoff right here. This is it right here. This is there. He punches Evil Ash, and he's about to put him on the catapult and send him to his resting place in the sky. Oh, that's the longest burning fuse I've ever seen in my life. There's that. Give me the book. That's great. You know what's fun about this movie? And this is what I love about it, I think. It's a big budget B movie.
Yeah.
And it still feels like a B movie, but it's still awesome, you know. And of course, you just gotta love it. It's great. So the girl she's returned to normal now, and Ash is going in for the Frencher.
Just give me some sugar, baby. It's one of my favorite lines in the film.
Oh yeah, it's great. You know what I love about this movie is it didn't need to be longer. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that the other cuts are, but I mean, to me, theatrically, this worked. It was fun seeing this in the theater. I love Henry and the other guy hugging here. I think it's fucking awesome. This movie was just good. Is that bad?
Yeah, she got out. Okay, well, my theory was correct. So my girlfriend thought I would always leave the door open and forget, and I was like, no, I always shut it. I made sure it was shut. I'm pretty sure the cat is getting out herself, and not the dog. As you can see, that's been shut with the cat in it. The dog's been laying here the whole time. The cat can open that door and get out.
You're kidding me.
She's out here. I shut that door.
Can you not put her back in there?
Yeah, but she'll open it again. That's why it's been coming open.
Try that. Put her in. Let's see if she can.
Because Toodle's been sitting here with us the entire day.
How in the hell?
She opened it. You heard her picking at the door, and then she's here. Back, evil beast.
That's the craziest thing ever. So Ash is now, he's got his potion to return back to present day. I think what I'm most blown away about is I had no idea that this wasn't released until February 93.
No.
Because if you look anywhere and look this film up, they say that it came out in 92, but it didn't. It's technically 93.
Mm-hmm. It was done.
But if you look at the transfer of this film, it looks great, but the other Blu-rays in this set look better than the theatrical version, except the TV version because it's cropped, but it had to be because that's the aspect ratio for television at the time.
Right.
It was the 1:3. So now Ash is back at S-Mart. He's hanging out. He's telling a girl about his adventures. It's pretty awesome. He's talking to Ted Raimi. Fucking love Ted Raimi. Now he's fighting the deadite that's followed him into present day. She's about to kill the girl that was hitting on him. Uses the steel arm to grab the gun. Now he shoots the cash register out of her hand. Lady, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the store. You gotta love it. Name's Ash. Housewares. That's fucking awesome. I mean, this movie's great. It just doesn't get old, man. It's fucking doing the Duke out here. Gotta love it. He's mowing this deadite. It's just great. He's taking her down, and of course, probably the best part and the pay dirt of this scene. Lady, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store. Fucking awesome. Hell to the king, baby. Great movie. To me, it's fucking awesome.
The lines in that film are fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's great. Well, let's close this bad boy out. I don't really have any releases to talk about this week. There's really nothing to talk about. I guess we'll just close it out with the film. We got to get some ghost busting going. So, Corey, I'll
let you guys know next episode how much I vomited at the sneak peek of the new film. And yeah, until next time, stay fucking gory. Thank you guys for listening. Really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. If you guys watch the film along with us, that's great. Thanks. Again, everything he said, thank you, and we're reaching anybody out there. I don't know if we are or not, let us know. It means a lot. The positive we like, the negative we don't need. We have enough of that in our daily lives. But I guess we'll talk to you guys next time. Shop smart, shop S-smart.